I always say Nigeria is our people. If you say that Nigeria is bad and therefore you are leaving, what you're saying is that Nigerians are bad. It's not the land you are running away from. You are running away from Nigerians. Why are Nigerians running away from Nigerians?
On this episode of Business Insight, Austin explores why Nigerians leave the country in search of better opportunities and challenges us to consider whether Nigeria's real problem is the land itself or the people and systems we have created.
Nigerians are fantastic when they go out. Many thrive, but are not able to thrive here. Let's look at other places. What did the Chinese do? What did the Ghanaians do? What did the Singaporeans do? What can we do to have a different Nigeria? Nigeria's large population coupled with economic downturn has made a lot of Nigerians migrate to other African countries in search of greener pasture. There are about 3.6 million Nigerians that left the country between September 2022 and 23. I don't have the recent figures, but that's quite a significant number given that the populations of some of these African countries are not that high. So this is a big percentage that goes to settling there. And when those countries experience downturn, there's some sort of prejudice against the Nigerians who tend to be the dominant immigrants to those countries. I always say Nigeria is our people. If you say that Nigeria is bad and therefore you are leaving, what you're saying is that Nigerians are bad because Nigeria is our people. If you're running away from Nigeria, it's not the land you're running away from. You are running away from Nigerians. Why are Nigerians running away from Nigerians? I think that's the big question. A big part of that is the question of, could the economy be better? Maybe it's a bit too big a scope to look at. Let's narrow it down to power. Is this the best we can do with power? Where a country of over 200 million people are depending on 5,000 megawatts of power. And if you take a similar setting, maybe in Ghana, a country of about 30 million people have much more than that. And they tend to have 24 hours of power. It's so distressing. I was on a flight with a big Nigerian distributor and we were sitting beside each other. So we started talking and he was telling me about the products he sells. And he has products from a company called L'Oreal that makes beauty products for women mainly. And he goes to Ghana to buy, and then he sells across Africa. According to him, the biggest market, which takes 70% of what he supplies, is Nigeria. But there is no L'Oreal factory in Nigeria. The L'Oreal factory is in Ghana. Why is this so? A country that is consuming 70% of the product does not host the factory, and a country that is consuming less than 30% is where the factory is hosted. Why is it that our refineries were not producing any drop of oil in the last 5 years, and a private individual set up a refinery that is not just meeting local demand, but is also exporting in the same environment? So it's a reflection of the Nigerian, that Nigeria has not reached its potential, not only to retain her people, but also to attract immigrants to come and work here for a greener pasture. Nigerians are fantastic when they go out. Many thrive, but are not able to thrive here. Why is that, and what can be done about that? Could those people that left have stayed back and contributed to uplifting the country? I think this is a question that is best answered by each and every one of us in the innermost of our hearts. But let's look at other places. What did the Chinese do? They go, get the knowledge, and then come back and better their society. What did the Singaporeans do? What did the Ghanaians do? There was a period in history where there were so many Ghanaians in Nigeria looking for greener pasture. But they learned from one thing. What they learned from was the way they were treated inhumanly by the so-called Ghana must go, and they were just driven out with no basic rights assured. And they went back home and they said, never again. And that is why Ghana is the way it is, that you find that of late, the net is that Nigerians will more go to Ghana than you find Ghanaians going out. Ghana has gotten to a place today where it's even attracting African Americans to come and settle there through the initiative of the Year of Return. But Nigeria is the biggest African country. Will we attract people to come and settle here if we make a similar initiative of a Year of Return? If we're able to answer that question, it will tell us a lot. I heard a friend speak yesterday at one of my workshops for entrepreneurs and leaders. And what he said is very poignant. He said, we always keep quiet in the interest of peace. Let me not talk. But that is a piece of a graveyard when what is happening, if you don't talk, will still come and affect you. There is a saying, which I will not quote in its verbatim, but it says, they came for A and I kept quiet. They came for B and I kept quiet. They came for my neighbor and I kept quiet. The next person was me, and there was nobody to speak for me. So the point is, we are in a boat in the middle of the ocean, and you see somebody digging a hole at the bottom of the boat, which is going to cause the water to come in and sink the boat. And then you say, for the sake of peace, let me keep quiet. Common sense will tell you that if the boat sinks, you sink with it. So what peace, really, were you trying to safeguard? If you see the freedom fighters that fought for the independence of Africa, and so many African countries are independent, it didn't come on a platter of gold. Does it seem as if this current generation were those people there will ever have independence? So anytime we look at the situation and take ourselves out of the equation and we say, I'm leaving because Nigeria is bad, what you are really saying is that I'm leaving Nigerians because Nigerians are bad. And does that not include you? What can we do to have a different Nigeria? What should we celebrate? People see what you celebrate as the desired value, and it becomes the dominant value. Do you know what you celebrate? I mean, if you go on social media, you see wedding of the century, birthday party of the century. In fact, we've even taught the kidnappers and Boko Haram to also go on social media and splash, learning from us, the elite that have the money. The mentality of I better pass my neighbor, the mentality of seeking immense fortune just so that you can oppress people. Do you know who I am? That's the dominant culture. And that's the value that we pass down, whether to our neighbors or to our children. And unless we celebrate the right values, the values that we celebrate will become the ingrained culture. So what I would like to stress and buttress is that Nigeria is our people. If the people are predominantly good, it will be said that Nigeria is good. And if what comes out predominantly are the bad traits of the people of Nigeria, it will be said that Nigeria is bad, whether by her people or by those outside. For Nigeria to be good, the people of Nigeria have to demonstrate good. And it starts with you and I.